Developments in the Middle East have been a subject of much debate in the South African Parliament. This right at the back of the decision by the South African government to recall all its diplomats from Tel Aviv for consultations. The South African government has criticized the Israeli government for not adhering to international laws and, of course, for not respecting the United Nations resolutions insofar as a ceasefire is concerned. The Minister of International Relations, Dr. Naledi Pandor, delivered a statement for the first time in the National Assembly since the escalation of violence in the Middle East in October.
The crime of genocide sadly looms large in the current situation in Gaza. We recall that in 1994, a genocide occurred on the African continent, with much of the whole world watching as innocent people were massacred. During the Second World War, innocent people were massacred and placed under siege. In response, at the end of the war, an international system was created, including the establishment of the United Nations.
The Minister of International Relations, Dr. Pandor, has criticized the International Criminal Court, accusing it of having double standards in dealing with the conflict in the Middle East.
Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who has really been the person that has been fueling all this violence we see being perpetrated against innocent Palestinians. We have said that the ICC, which was very quick to act when the territory of Ukraine was occupied by Russia, they are now silent at this time because it is Palestinian people. We regard this as a double standard. And we do call, as the Palestinian Authority has done, on the ICC to declare itself on this matter and recognize the crime and harm that has been caused.
This is what other members of parliament in South Africa from opposition parties had to say insofar as their input is concerned.
The ANC seems to have no genuine interest in building peace in the Middle East. They are only interested in using this tragedy for their own political gain, hoping that they can sow division and distract the South African people from their dismal failure as our government. The minister's recent telephone call to the leader of Hamas squandered any last remaining vestige of credibility her department had left.
Palestinians do not enjoy freedom to demonstrate against their oppressor. They are told demonstrations, they get arrested, they even get killed. Thousands of Palestinians are arrested without trial, even charged in Israeli military courts. The world knows this. And when Palestinians respond, they are called terrorists. The Israeli state is fundamentally a racist state. Nobody must be allowed to coexist with a fundamentally racist state. You can't be asked in the interest of the values of our constitution to recognize a racist state whose establishment is for a Jewish-only people at the expense of Palestinians. Why would you do that? Those are the facts. This is not a religious war, Mrudi. It's an evil war. It's not a holy war. There is no people who have a God's right to be superior to anyone. The Israelis don't represent the Jewish communities of the world. They represent Zionism and racism. It must be said here. Whoever supports them supports racism.
I'm Tim Tongana for RT News in South Africa.